As we have been in the topic of ego, it's not that easy to recognize, it's not that easy to manage, it's not that easy to handle either. It is exactly, the person says beautifully, look, I don't have any ego. Other says, no, you have little bit ego. No, I am telling you, I don't have ego at all. I am a humble person. In fact, I don't utter the word ego at all. And again further you ask, really I am telling you, I am a very humble person. Always I am away from ego. That means you know better how egoist that person is. So this ego is a multi-faceted, let us say, I cannot say individual or entity, multi-faceted confusion. That's better word, okay? And when it is going to take what role, how it will go, what to do, what not to do, God only knows. It's like we say sometimes in our in Hinduism. So we have a devata, we have a rishi called, he's called Devarshi also, called Narada. So when he appears where, God only knows. And wherever he appears, this example is a little different, okay? You have to be very careful. Don't go. Wherever he appears, definitely there will be some problem. Even if there is no problem, he will create a problem. That is what his role is, okay? But in end, it appears to be good. That is the beautiful part of it. At the end, definitely it will go well. Wherever he puts his nose, wherever, there will be real confusion, real mess. Even if that nothing is there, he will create such a mess you cannot think of. But later on, you will discover things will be definitely better. Whereas in this case, this ego case, like Narada, okay? First person, not second person, okay? When he is going to appear where, only that fellow knows. Even if God does not know, you understand? That's why God tries to catch him in a different way. But the problem is, wherever it appears like Narada appears wherever, creates confusion. But later on, it becomes good. But this fellow, wherever appears, creates confusion. Later on, it becomes worse. So that means how careful we have to become with this fellow called ego, okay? Somebody said very nicely, what is ego? Electronic way of going, okay? Very fast movement. Ego, okay? What are the people thinking? Nothing to do. This is what they do. Which remember, it has nothing to do with that, okay? However, while discussing this thing, now let us read the next verse so that it becomes easier. We'll go ahead. Ahamonante nibritya tat krutanana vikalpa samvritya. Pratyek tattva vivekadidaham masmiti vindate tattvam. Very good. Says, look, idam aham asmiti, when I am this. And what is that? That is called pratyek tattva viveka. So this is the called tattva viveka, the discrimination of what? Of me, the truth about me. And what is that? I am this. Then only you will see the reality. And how it can happen? Aham ananta nibritya tatkruta nana vikalpa samvritya. So that means always what happens to me, to understand me as this, I have some obstacle. So what is that obstacle? The obstacle is ego, and of course because of ego, now there are different type of modification of thoughts in me. Because all my thoughts that gets modified, the process of thinking that is being developed in me, always backed up by ego. If the ego is being challenged, you will discover the thought process is being challenged. If the ego is bloated, of course the thought process is bloated. If the ego is depleted, you can see the depletion in your thinking process. Can you see this point? So the way the ego is, accordingly, you can see the thought and thinking process. So here it's being highlighted very carefully. What is that? So what I need to do here is, when this is the case, so to understand that me as me, the complete negation, destruction, or you can say resolution of the ego sense has to be there in me. And it is a process. Remember, it is not one lifetime job. Please be very careful about this. I am making it very carefully, this word statement. Because God knows. That's why there is a very well, settled thought in me. It's not one life. God knows. That's why if I am really careful, if I keep working, so that's why I have to see that my graph is moving very smoothly. If the graph starts fluctuating, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. That's why how much I am sincere and how much I keep withdrawing, that only determines the weakness of my ego. So weakening ego, please understand, is not a joke. Anyway, there are different moments. Ego is suppressed, but not, remember, weaker. Suppressed ego, don't consider suppressed ego, helpless ego is weaker. No. In fact, that is dangerous. Have you not observed? We call that, it's called vulnerable ego. It's just waiting for time. It is like there is a fire and you keep something, you cover it. Hey, remember, it is not visible now. But what happens? That fire slowly takes its own time. 1 day, 2 days, maybe few days. Slowly what happens? You know better. So that means to resolve completely, it is actually a lifetime commitment. So lifetime commitment not to resolve the ego. That's wrong. Because if you try to commit yourself to resolve ego, hey, I have resolved the ego. I am resolving ego. You understand? No. Your lifetime commitment, my lifetime commitment should be to abide within me, myself. So when I am committed to be with myself, automatically what happens? Ego will have any standpoint. Whereas the moment I lose little bit here and there, the side of me, myself, little bit losing sight of myself. That's all. In fact, ego does not want me to be with me. Because whenever I am with me, poor ego is helpless. Can you see this point? Doesn't have any role to play. And same ego will say, hey look, if I don't have ego, then how to function? What is the purpose of life? So it will make me so much helpless, then I will not have any other choice other than being part of or being in the hand of my own ego. That's why he says beautifully, need to work very carefully with it. Let us look at next verse. Ahankare kartayahamite matim muncha sahasa. Vikaratmanyatma pratifalajuse swasthitim usi. Yadadhyasat prapta janimriti jara dukkha bahula. Pratischasyan murtestava sukhatano sansrutiriyam. So, what is being highlighted here? Ahankare kartari aham iti mati muncha sahasa. Sahasa means immediately. So one need to work with this immediately. Muncha, renounce. So what is matim? So matim means the notion. So what is that notion? Aham iti kartari. So that means that aham iti I notion, and where ahankare kartari, with the ego and the doer, means wherever the ego gets in, there I, the absolute, with its reflection becomes karta. And being karta, doer, then what happens? Definitely that becomes all sort of confusion. In fact says, Vikaratmani atma pratifalajusi swasthitim usi iti. So that's why it is called nothing but the reflection of one's own self. And because of that reason, it always diverts, it always takes away from the self. And how it happens? Because of adhyasatiti. Because of superimposition. And because of the superimposition, then the consequences are paid. What happens? Jani, mrityu, jara, dukkha, bahula, praticha, chinmurte, tava, sukhatano, sansruti, yam iti. Says beautifully, because of that reason, what happens? Because of this adhyasa, because of all the consequences, superimposition. Now, jani, mrityu, jara, dukkha, bahula. So the birth, that itself is painful. Mrityu, death, of course. In fact, death is bliss, okay? Real bliss, if you want to experience, that is called death. Appa, one problem less for some time, okay? Because why I am saying one problem less for some time, definitely for society, one problem is gone for some time, okay? Because the society doesn't know how you will be born in which form, okay? At least that locality is free from. Maybe in another locality, God knows what is going to happen, okay? Same thing for you also. Because mind will be so much occupied in uncertainty, so for few years, at least for 4-5 years, you understand? Just imagine, guess you are born then and there, okay? If you are not born then and there, again that is another problem, okay? because you will remain as a ghost in that same locality and more concentrated way, in a concentrated way. That is really more painful. Anyway, this is very most, a lot of probability, let us not get into. But what I am highlighting here is, journey is painful, the birth is painful, death also is painful. So that's what he says, birth, death, and of course jara, geriatric problem, old age. Of course that is only pain, nothing is there, okay? Kata, mada, you understand? Only kada sound comes. When you get up, no. You sit down, no. I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that. And nothing is good for me. Because you are not good for anything, okay? So better should. I am not good for anything, anybody. You have tried it, okay? One more, okay? Learning to withdraw. In fact, the best part is, earlier days it was there. When people become old, if you have knowledge called maturity, you will discover more people will come to you. Because you withdraw from anything and everything. So you are depending upon completely on knowledge. You don't interfere, involve in anything with anybody. You will discover everybody starts respecting you. It's a very nice way of living old days. But the problem is, once people become old, some screw goes into missing, okay? They want to poke their nose in anywhere and everywhere. I don't know how it happens. In this regard, let me be very clear and careful. That's what now I am noticing. Because to be very honest, for a long time, I didn't notice anybody. Gradual process of death, I didn't notice anybody. Now recently, even though I was not quite close with Swami Ramsurpanand Maharaj, only except few minutes every day. But when I now look at, he was in the process of withdrawal. And he was goody with everybody. Towards the end, he was goody with everybody. He has written, everybody has talked. And moreover, whenever there was some conflict or other, he had tried his level best to resolve. And including with me also, he has tried, many methods, many ways. What is happening to you? Like, more concern about me. What is happening? Tell me, should I do this thing? Should I do that? I said, no, Swamiji, I don't need anything. Please. Because we are our own fight with both of us. So, Swamiji, if you keep quiet, that's my help. Okay, please. However, so, sometimes, I have noticed also many other cases I hear, when this sort of death happens, or anybody, sometimes people do not get into the withdrawal mode. And especially in natural death case, gene automatically understands. The body, the system automatically understands. Then without the knowledge, many cases I have noticed, observed, that they start withdrawing by themselves. Imagine if the physical death makes this much, when we want the death of ego, the mental death with the knowledge, how one will be able to withdraw? Can you see this point? So this withdrawal process should be in such a way, you don't create any job, but you continue functioning. That's why people say, Swamiji, this sort of teaching only for elderly people. We are young. And one fellow can say, look, I am not yet married, Swamiji, I have not seen what is life. Please, God's sake, don't teach me all this thing. Those who are married, they know what is life, fighting every day, every moment. Hey, I am not targeting the one who is not married. I am targeting those who are married, okay? Please understand. However, this is a joke because I need to divert my mind a little bit so that you people laugh, okay? Nothing else, okay? Or else it will be too much. Please don't misunderstand. I love you all. Please, so I don't have any issue in this regard, okay? However, so, so he says beautifully, if that is the case, then what happens? Now, because of this adhyasa, identification with one's own self differently, now this full of difficulties, full of dukkham, misery, comes to me in the form of what? Birth, of course, in between jara and death. But remember, in reality, I am what? I am is a Chinmurti. So in reality, I am the one who is the Chit Swarupaha iti, the essence of the awareness principle. Me being the awareness principle, still I go through Sukhatanoha. Sukhatanoha means what? I am the, embodiment of happiness. So in reality, even though I am embodiment happiness, I am the essence of the awareness principle, still what happens? I am ignorant and full of miseries. And in fact, that is what is called samsara, iyam samsara. Let us read the next. Sadekarupasya chidatmano vibho Anandamurte ranavadya kirte Naivanyatha kyapya vikarinaste Vina hamadhyasa mamushya samshruti. Says beautifully. Sadeka rupasya chidatmanah vibhoho iti. So basically I am what? Sat eka rupasya. Sat means that which is existence. That which exists in 3 periods of time. So me being the existence, always the same, there is no difference at all. Chidatmanaha, chit atmanaha. So chit means then always. And vibhoho sarvavyapi. So sarvavyapi means all pervasive, that which is present everywhere. Anandamurte, of course I am the happiness, embodiment of happiness. And anavadya kirte, so the kirti, the glory, cannot be imagined. But what happens? Naeva anyatha kvapi avikarinaha te bina aham adhyasam amushya samshruti. But what happens? If I look at myself, I am completely opposite. So in reality, I am this. But in my day-to-day life, I am dukkha swarupaha, dukkha murti, embodiment of what? Dukkham. Always crying. Only I see the problem in my life, nothing else. In fact, somebody said, my life is full of problems. Whenever anybody says that my life is full of problems, deep within I say, wish you all the best. In fact, you deserve. Because if you don't deserve, how can you say my life is full of problems? Because generally, nowadays I am little bit polite. Oh, true. Because I have got a few words. Yes, true, really. Sometimes this also comes out. Oh, no. Okay. And mechanically, sometimes I say, I'm sorry to say, you know better, because this joke I did bring, long back. Okay, this is like Chennai joke. One day I was caught very badly. I cannot forget that. Okay. So in Chennai, I had a problem. You know, all of you. Whenever telephone comes, those days, no ordinary phones, I'll put in speaker phone mode. I'll walk, or I start removing the weeds. That is what I do all the time. With the plants, I'll be busy. Sometimes the phone will be little away, okay, so that I don't have to listen. Only my standard is, oh, really? True, really, sorry. Because mechanically I keep talking. So I continue. So when the person says, okay, Swamiji, thank you very much. Oh, okay, very good, take care. So my job is done. Meanwhile, my mind is changed, I do some work. One day I was doing. The person is talking something, first started a blah, blah, blah. Then finally it went to the different word. So I said, oh, really, I'm sorry. And the person was giving a good news, okay? A wrong time, okay? So wrong time if you say, I'm sorry. How? Then person said, Swamiji, that means you are not listening to me. Because I keep in such a way that I can hear it, okay? Remember very nicely. Because I know how. You are not listening. What are you talking? I am telling you something good. I have to change. Hey, what are you doing? I'm sorry, don't do this, okay? Like as though there is somebody next to me doing something. I'm sorry, don't do this, okay, please. How to manage life? I'm not telling you jokes, okay? Now, joke apart, let us come back to our topic. So, I am Dukkha Swarupa. And of course, I am not a Chidatmana. So, everything is very different for me. And why all these things happens? Now, he says beautifully, because of nothing, please understand, it is mainly because of what? This Adhyasamiti. And because of this identification with the ego. And as long as this identification is there, remember, that is not easy for you. Even though you are the absolute truth, knowledge, and who is omnipresent, means available everywhere, remember, even if being the happiness, embodiment of happiness, but you will appear to yourself differently. As long as what? As long as there is identification with this ego sense. You cannot overcome. You cannot appreciate the truth that is oneself. Unless and until this ego is being managed, handled completely. Read next. Tasmat ahankaramimam swasatrum bhuktur gale kantakavat pratetam vichidya vijnana mahasina sputam bhuktvatma samrajya sukham yatheshtham. So what is to be done here? Says beautifully that tasmat, because of all these reasons, therefore, ahankaram imam so saptrum iti. So if you want to name your enemy, so who is the best enemy of you? This ahankara. In fact, the one who tells that everybody is my enemy, that fellow is the enemy. Who announces everybody, hey, you are my enemy, he is enemy, she is enemy, everybody is enemy? The fellow who announces. That's why an ahankari has got more enmity. All our enemies are related to my limited thinking, or whenever you create an enemy, it is because of your insecure thinking. This is the problem that has happened with, especially in Hinduism. One side we had this knowledge, other side we had Varna Vyavastha. So in Varna Vyavastha there was a system to take care of this aspect. Unfortunately, when Britishers came, especially because Mughals, Muslims, they could not destroy the Varna Vyavastha. That's why the Vedic, let us say, knowledge, somehow it was very much intact with dilution. Whereas when the Britishers came, they destroyed the Varna Vyavastha. So when the Varna Vyavastha was destroyed, now people forgot who should do what. And everybody started philosophizing it. You understand what I am trying to say? And when they started philosophizing it, finally what happens? That India as such, the Bharata became India. This is the sad part of it. Bharat, Britishers came to Bharat, not India, for your kind information. But when they left from India by making East India Company. Because India is named after East India Company. Very unfortunate thing. And our idiots, they accepted it. Very unfortunate thing. It could have been Bharat. How? Then because of this Varna Vyavastha, this is the point I would like to hear, to stretch a little bit. The knowledge was being protected. And the atmosphere, because if the atmosphere is not protected, can you protect knowledge? We say very carefully, if the artists are not protected, can you perpetuate the art? Without artist, where is the art? Without the knowledgeable person, the atmosphere, where can be there knowledge? Then when the knowledge only remains in the book, of course many books have been destroyed and whatnot, then it becomes easier people to misinterpret. Now whatever you see the knowledge available in the market, 99% is influenced by Max Muller, as we have discussed many times. The loudspeakers that are available in the market means all the so-called philosophers, writers and whatnot. Like Dhanam, called charity. Karma means action. A karma has got bigger meanings. Karma cannot be called action. Karma means karma, karma phala. There are many things you have to take it. How can you say karma means action? So here what I am highlighting here is, we need both. That's why the responsibility of a person who is knowledgeable, not only be with the knowledge, at least allow the knowledge to continue to be protected. That's why in general, I am just trying to communicate this thing. Any acharyas, like any mutt, any acharyas, their job is to protect the dharma. In fact, they take the responsibility. Later on, as they understand, okay, they hand over to the next generation and they withdraw to this. You understand what I am trying to say? If they say, no, God will take care. Hey, God will take care through me, through you. God cannot take care by directly. Yes, God will take care of directly when there will be real disaster. You understand? But do you have patience to go through the complete disaster? God is not helping us. God gave you knowledge and strength in the hand, also intellect. Take care of yourself. Well, this is a high time. Why I am talking all these things? Because this Satru, this fellow inside, is so smart. And that too, those who are little bit exposed to the Shastra, you will have a double standard. And this is my personal experience, let me be very honest. I always say, in fact, I went through one case, I cannot forget. Many cases I have gone through, but one case I can share here very openly, okay? Generally, whenever I see any elderly people, and if they are arrogant, I don't talk much. Yes, just wash the hand. There is no point of wasting time. Because they think they have experience, they know everything. So there is no point. There is a second level of arrogance. I am giving you level, okay? If you come across, I am talking Indian case, overseas case, I don't know. If you come across any retired bureaucrats, God case. That is second level of arrogance. We know everything. We have done everything. Only that X. Every time I am X, so and so. You understand? So retired bureaucrats, very difficult to handle. Not that all, there are some people good, okay? Those who really want sincere to learn and all these things. Always there is exception. And second level of confusion and arrogance is, if the fellow is a retired bureaucrat and happens to be part of any organization, and confused, of course, okay? I am not telling you jokes. If the fellow is a part of the organization, trustee or related to somebody or something, and retired bureaucrats, that fellow will teach everybody everything, because he thinks that he is the best in every aspect. You understand? He has knowledge, he has money, he has contact, he has everything. Fellow, nothing will enter in his head. He will teach anybody and everybody with a sweet words. In fact, I went through, there are many cases I have gone through. Only those people put their weaknesses very subtle way. Nobody can understand. Only they want to grab. In fact, I call them, they are the parasites of the society. And they are literally destroy the system. If the Indian system present is being destroyed by people, who are the people? Retired, happens to be bureaucrats and part of the organization. Because they are not interested in knowledge. They are only interested because now they want only power, subtle power. You understand what I am trying to say? And in order to enjoy the subtle power, they can go to any extent. God knows where they will end up. Because again, all these games are this ego game. That's why what is to be done? He says beautifully that this is exactly like a thorn in the throat. And who? Bhoktum, the one who wants to enjoy. The example is very nicely said. Look, it's like, the person who eats, what do you call? Some fish. So you have to look at this, okay? Some non-veg things, okay? Or what has got thorn? Any other? No vegetable has got thorn, if I am right, correct? I don't think any vegetable, anything has got thorn. I doubt. I have not noticed, okay? Okay, let us take a vegetable also. Vegetable gets stuck, okay? General never happens, that's the problem. Even if you take a raw vegetable, that fellow will never get stuck, okay? But there is another one gets stuck. Maybe that example will be, but why he gets thorn is another example. In fact, I'll tell you openly. Many people do not know, especially in North India, I used to not do once I went through a very tough time. Never ever take just rice and yogurt without salt, without anything. Suppose your throat is dried and you take just rice and yogurt, put together, mix it. It gets stuck. It gets stuck. It will not go down. It's a very different experience altogether. If you are not aware of it, there will be panic and you may die. Technically you cannot die, because windpipe and food pipe are different, thank God, okay? Here you have a thank God here, okay? Because thank God windpipe and food pipes are different, not same. But if you do not know, you will get into panic attack and there will be heart attack. In fact, it happened with me once. It was very, very painful for me. Neither it went down, nor it could come out. Finally, I had to drink little bit water, make it saliva, then bring it out one after another. It took really, 10 to 15 minutes I had to struggle in one particular restaurant on the roadside. Very tough. Then later on they said, as per the rule, you are supposed to add little salt so that, it becomes different, or some pickle and other things, something to be added. I said, or it should be really liquid. Then no problem. Water. However, coming back to the point. But instead of that example, it is being given thorn. Because what happens thorn? You wanted to enjoy. While enjoying, now the thorn is stuck in between. Neither that fellow can come out, nor can go down. Now, you cannot talk. You cannot eat. Anything you do, there is a pain here. You understand what I am trying to say? Like that, ego. So you use the ego to enjoy your life. Now that fellow is stuck in between. That's what in many people cases, not many, all the cases, okay? Neither you can swallow, nor you can vomit. So it is stuck in such a way, never goes away. That's why, how it is painful. Same thing also, the ego. That's why what is to be done? So you need to work with your ego. How to work? First thing is, it says beautifully, understanding that ego is your Shatru. If you want to see that who is your enemical to you, the most dangerous enemy for you is your own ego. Then once you understand, then only you will start working to destroy that. That's why Vichidya, how? Vijnana Mahasinati. So such a great sword you need, not ordinary one. And what is that? That is called Vijnana, Jnana Sahita. So Jnana means the knowledge in keeping the scripture. Vijnana means that making it your commitment towards the knowledge only will help you to handle your ego. And of course, directly you need to do. Then only what will happen? Atma Samrajya Sukham Yatheshtham Iti. Then only, as you wish, Yathashtham. As it is desired by you, as it is suitable, conducive for you, as it is supposed to be, you will start enjoying Atma Samrajya Sukham. So the happiness of yours, that is nothing but it comes from one's own self. That is what is called your sovereignty. That is what is called your dam, okay, self-dam, if you want to say. Like king has got dam, kingdom. Guru has got dam, guru dam. Nowadays guru dam is more powerful, okay. So same thing also, You need to have your own Dham. What is that Dham? Self-Dham. You understand? And interestingly, self-Dham is so nice, so convenient. Everywhere we are. Okay? So that is what one will be able to enjoy one's own self without any restrictions, because self has no restrictions. So free from all sort of restrictions, that Dham will be enjoyed when this Shatru called Ahankara is being destroyed. And of course again it goes on and on. I think we will see more of it on Monday. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamidachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.